Hey guys, Matt Allen here. Welcome back to TacticalBassin. Today I want to do a quick review of the new Shimano Curado Rods. These were announced at ICAST, but it's taken some time for them to get into most of the tackle shops around the country. They're pretty widely available now, so I wanted to take a minute and kind of weigh in on those, give you some first impressions. Right off the bat, they land in between the X-Age and the Zodius. They're going to be in that like 160 to 170 range. So middle price point, not the bottom, definitely not the top, right there in the middle. And in my opinion, that's exactly where these rods land. Tim and I got a chance to spend some time with them late in the summer. So we got to play with them a few months back. This is the crankbait. This is a 7/8 crankbait. We also played with the flipping sticks. We frogged on them, did a lot of heavy flipping, picked up one of the spinning rods, caught some shaky headfish, and then did a lot of cranking. So really got an opportunity to spend quite a bit of time with the rods. Overall, we were very, very impressed. I had a couple rods that really stood out to me out of the line, but across the board, it's a great line. The main questions that I've been fielding online are, where does this rod land? Are they worth the money? Is it nicer than a Zodius? What is it? And really what it is it's a perfect pair to that Curado. I've got it paired up with that Curado K. In a 7-to-1 is what I've got on that cranking rod. Again, this is the 7'8" cranking rod. And it's a pretty stout rod. In my mind, I'd be throwing like a size 2 treble hook and up. So you're throwing like a DD22, 6XD, 8XD, 10XD, Lucky Craft. It could probably throw the Lucky Craft Magnum. It can definitely throw the bulk of your deep divers. That'll throw all the Magnum square bills. Anything that's got a larger treble on it, it's perfect for that. They've got a couple other smaller models, lighter models that will throw the rest. But within the line, there are a couple of trends that are kind of unique. So when you're looking at them, you've got rods that are labeled moderate action. Those are your crankbait rods. And then one of the standout rods, the rods that I enjoyed fishing with the most, it's a 7'5", but it's a heavy, but actually I think it's a medium heavy. But what's interesting about it is that it's a moderate fast. It's not a true fast action. If you guys are new to tactical, you might not know my obsession with moderate and moderate fast rods, especially when it comes to throwing a jig. I am obsessed with that moderate, that slower, more parabolic action. When it comes to jig fishing, it cannot be touched. The entire industry should be throwing a jig on a moderate fast rod, but there are not a lot of them made. The Dobbins, a couple that stand out to me, the Dobbins 765 flip is pretty moderate. St. Croix's got a couple offerings that are moderate, and now Shimano's got that one that's moderate at a great price point. Those are all phenomenal jig options. So hands down in the entire lineup, that 7.5 moderate fast, that rod is a standout to me. I really like this 7'8". We threw the frog on both the 7.2 heavy and the 7.6 heavy. It was great on both. That 7.6 was able to throw the frog no problem, but also was a great carryover for that light to medium flipping and even light punching. It's a great carryover there. They're really nice rods for the price. I mean, that's the biggest question. That's what people want to know. Obviously it pairs well with that Curado Reel, right? They didn't do that by accident. You guys already know our opinion on that Curado Reel. We've already shot a video about that. In my opinion, the best Curado ever made. Is it worth the price? Oh my gosh, it's worth the price. It's the best Curado ever made. I mean, in my opinion, it beats out the old greenies that we all love. You guys know I'm a Curado fanatic anyway. Used them my entire life. I've literally owned every single series of Curado coming up over the years. This reel, I mean, it blows them out of the water. I was a huge Curado D fan, a huge Curado E fan, and the K, I mean, it's primo. And it pairs extremely well on that Curado rod. I think that was a great choice on their part. It essentially brought that Curado name right back to the top. But again, the big thing I want to convey is they're nice rods. They're perfect for the price point. I think the price is right. It's a little bit below that Zodius, So if you weren't sure if you wanted to make that leap at a Zodius, especially in those power fishing applications, you know, with finesse presentations, you definitely want to reach to the top of your budget because the more sensitive the rod, it makes a difference. Now, if your budget is really low, you just reach the highest you can. If your budget's really high, you reach higher. But for finesse, where you really need that feel, you want to reach to the top of your price range. But for that middle stuff, for cranking, for flipping, pitching, you know, all reaction fishing, spinnerbaits, chatterbaits, all that stuff, those mid-range rods are primo because you tend to get great, you still have great sensitivity, but you have that phenomenal action to match it. They're not super fast or extra fast rods, and you can sometimes get into those moderate fast rods that make all the difference. So keep that in mind. We're gonna give you links to all the rods down in the video description. Tim and I will pick out some of our favorite models, and we'll give you some price points above and some price points below. So depending on your budget, you can adjust accordingly. But overall, they're a winner. Just want to take a couple minutes out, give you guys a quick review of that new Curado rod. It's a good one. You need to check them out. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you enjoy these reviews, let us know. So far you guys have, so we keep bringing them. You gave us a bunch of questions about the Curado. That's why we're talking about it. Whatever you want reviewed, you let us know. Hit that like button, subscribe to that channel. We'll talk to you soon.